Hey everybody, I'm Carl Sheffield. I'm a product manager here at Skuid in the user success and evangelism team. In this video, we're going to talk about global merge variables. I'm going to just give an introduction to that. So what I'm going to do is start at Skuid Central here, and I'm going to go to Compose and float over Compose and get to all pages. And we're going to start from a page that we already have made. So I'm going to click the preview and we're going to see what we have to work with to get started. All right, so getting started, we can see that the page is previewed. We've got a table with a title, the contact list table, and that contact list is showing 3 records. Now, what we can do is get over into the Skuid Page Composer by clicking the Edit Page button here, and from here, let's just take a look around at the composer and see what we're starting with. Like you saw, we've got a table in our canvas right now, and that table uses the model called contact list. Now, that table also has this title contact list table. Over in the models area, we've got one model in our list, and if I click on that model, I can see the different characteristics of the model. We can see that we have a number of fields listed. If I click selected fields here, it gives me a real tight focus of what fields are selected. And I can also click this expand button here, and we can see all of our fields. Those will be useful as we get into global merge variables. I'm going to collapse this here, and then we're going to click fields again and click nodes to click the conditions and to see the condition on this. It says mailing state is not null. So that is what we're starting with, and that gives us a good place to talk about global merge variables. So global merge variables are very similar to merge fields that was covered in another video. It uses mustache.js, so that's where you see the curly brackets. Global merge variables, as we construct them, they will be wrapped in curly brackets, either 2 brackets or 3 brackets sometimes to get that raw data. So the next thing to talk about really is one thing that you'll see, even if you are brand new to Skuid and you've only seen a few pages, you've probably seen global merge variables, or at least merge fields in action. These things, the global merge variables, allow us to access the data and the metadata around the page, and we can use that in the Skuid Actions framework to build logic, or we can surface that data on a page. So let's get started. And one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do some copy pasting to make sure that I get everything just right in this video. So one thing that you'll know is components that are, I guess I would say, template enabled allow you to use global merge variables and global and merge fields. So I'm going to start with the page title component. I'm going to pull the page title component down on top of the table. And the first thing I want to do is just get rid of the merge that's already in these by default. I'm going to ignore the subtitle area for now, and then we'll just focus on the title. So in the title property, that's a template field, and we could build the template right in this field, or we can open a little bit of room in the inline editor. This is where I'm going to go over, and I'm going to do a little bit of copy and paste. So I'm going to copy and paste a line here into the inline code, and this is what it shows. It's got some plain text that says working with, and then it has a global merge variable using the global merge variable model. And then after that, it has some plain text again contact record. So it kind of makes a sentence. So it says working with, and then it's whatever Skuid Page delivers in this from the variable, and then it finishes with contact records. So let's focus on this guy for now. So first thing we have is the merge variable model with a $sign. So $sign model, and then the dot notation. And this is the model name that we looked at originally. And then these are characteristics of that model. So I'm looking into the data, and then I'm looking at the length of the data. So let's see what shows up when we preview this. We'll just click preview, and we'll see the plain text working with, and then the number 3, and then contact records. So the global merge variable pulled in the length of the model, and we can see in our table at a glance the model had 3 records in it. So that's one way to look to use global merge. Now let's use the rich text component to look a little bit deeper, and let's say that we wanted to surface the model condition to the end user so they would know, why am I only getting 3 records? I'm going to do that by going to the edit page, and we're going to find in the list of components, we're going to find the rich text editor. And I'm going to grab that and pull that in between the page title and the table. From here, I'm going to select into the rich text editor component, and I'm going to cheat a little bit. Instead of typing a bunch, I'm going to go grab some stuff that I've already made and copy that, and then I'll paste it into this page. Hold on there. Let me just use my shortcut. There. So this is some text and some global merge, and we'll take a look at what this is doing. So the plain text says this model is returning context where, and then there's a global merge that uses the conditions characteristic, and there may be multiple conditions on a model. So 0 is telling it which condition. So it's the first condition in the list of conditions on the model that's named contact list. And then it gets the operator of that condition, and then it finally gets the value. So what do you think we'll see here? Let's save this page and then preview it, and we'll see that it's a line that explains what's happening with the model condition. This model is returning contacts where, and the field used in the condition is mailing state, and then the operator is not equals to, and then finally the value is null. So this is a way to show to the page user what's happening with this model. Let's go look at one more, and this example is going to be really useful for when you have to pinpoint certain records inside a model. So I'm going to click Edit Page, and I'm going to go, this time I'm going to go find the actual template component, and I'm going to add that template component to the canvas below the contact list table component. And with this in focus, I have the template property here, and I am going to open the edit inline code window and do a little cheating again by doing a copy and paste for a value. And so just copy that and then paste this. Here we go. So there's plain text that says, note that the ID for the second contact in the contact list table is, and here's my global merge variable model. But notice that I've wrapped this with 3 brackets. We've seen this in other videos where I want the actual raw data of the second. Notice that the second record in an array is indexed as 1. So model.modelName.data.pinpointed record, and then the field of that record. Now let's close this and save the page, and then click preview and see what happens. Now we have our template component that laid down this visual representation of the metadata. Note that the ID for the second contact in the contact list table is, we have a unique ID set here. And notice that this unique ID is actually the same unique ID as the record, the second record in the table. So that's what we see here. So that's global merge variables as an introduction. We used really only one global merge variable, the model variable, and that way we got access to the JavaScript representation of the data and metadata behind that model. And then to wrap that up, we surfaced that data. Instead of using it in the actions framework, we just showed how to do that. So thanks a lot for taking time to look at the Skuid video. I hope it was helpful. I hope this gives an idea of the powerful things that you can do with global merge and merge syntax. All right, see you in another video soon. Bye-bye.